Hi, this is Abe Wesley. That ain't even tells it like a TI is. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe. The topic I'm going to talk to you today about is Belle Collective Season 2, Episode 9. Uh, I was supposed to record this last Thursday. I thought I did, but for some reason when I checked, it wasn't on my it wasn't in my camera. So I'm doing it right now. But anyway, it started off from last episode, episode 8, where Tamara was upset about Marie inviting Taisha, to the party, and stuff like that, and so Marie said that she always had it Taisha as a decorator. She was a famous decorator and stuff. And then Marie said after Tamara left, she said that she didn't know she didn't know about anything that was going on. She thought that situation was handled, last time when they were at the runway thing, and then they just was going back and forth, back and forth. And then Aikishia said that even though Tamara said she was giving Tamara a side eye, she was saying Tamara is still her friend, so she wasn't going to participate in no mess, and so she left too. And then all the other girls were saying, yeah, we was wondering what was, especially Treese. She was saying we was wondering what was going on. What was going on? She just decided to leave and she didn't tell nobody and stuff like that. And then that's when Lateshia told Marie that if she would have known that she was going to invite her, she would have told her not to invite her because of that situation. And so all the girls said, and Marie said, well, let's get back to my event. This is my event. And so they got back to the event. And then right before they got ready to leave, Esther said, I got one more thing to say. And they were saying, what is it? Esther said, Marie, you started some mess again. Marie said, no, you can't blame that on me. And then it switched to Latrice. And Latrice was at her mom's house talking to her brother. And Latrice said that things got so bad between her and Cliff that she had to move out for 2 weeks and she went to stay with her mama. And then so she was telling her brother that she's not ready to have a kid right now, and it seems like Cliff is ready to have one, but she's not ready to have one. And she was telling Cliff she might be wanting to have one day, someday, but not right now. And then her brother told her, he said, you're not getting any younger. And he said, I know some women do choose to have kids later and later, but I'm just letting you know, you think you might regret it later on down the line, because some women want to have kids later in life, and then some women regret not having kids at all because they might not have nobody leave something too. She say, I think about that too, but see, Cliff just want to have a baby right now. He said, well, like I'm telling you, you still young, but you're getting older too. She said, well, I be looking at that too, and I be thinking the same thing about I might want to have somebody to lead my goddess links to somebody, but I'm just saying right now I'm not ready to have a baby. And then her brother said, well, you need to talk this over with Cliff. You need to talk this over with Cliff. And she said, well, yeah, we'll talk it over with Cliff. He said, what you finna do now? She said, I'm finna go in and think it over in my room. And he said, well, you can go back there to them big rooms. She said, not all of them rooms are big. He said, every room in this house is big. And so she went on up, and then the next thing you know, Aikishia was getting ready to set up for her event, because on the last one she said she was going to have a stakeholders meeting for the who's of Mississippi, and that's exactly what she did. And she had some what they call it hostesses, and then she had some cookie girls, and then she had girls that were serving drinks and stuff like that. And so Lateshia came in and said, ooh, I really like this. I really like this. The decor is pretty, but look like to me, look like it's more like of a brunch than a stakeholders meeting. And then Latrice said, ooh, I like this decor. Everything's set up. She got the champagne girls like I had and the hostess and stuff. She said, ooh, Aikishia sure know how to throw a party. She sure know how to throw a party. And then everybody came to the party, And then Aikishia said what she wanted for Farris Street, said that she wants to bring she wants to build a hotel, not a hotel, she wants to build a bar down there like her and her husband got in New York. And she also wants to include Goddess Links and Lateshia Enterprise and all of the girls, the companies that she got. She wants to involve them in what she want to do for Farris Street. And then Lakeisha said in her confession, I'm gonna have to watch Aikishia because look like she trying to take over. But what it is, I'm just gonna take one for the team, but I'm still gonna be watching her because I got my stuff going on that I want to have for Farris Street too. And look like she didn't include me. And so and so after her speech and after all that, everybody got to eating and everybody got to eating and they got to talking. And so it was Marie and Latrice and Lakeisha, and they was talking and they was saying and they was talking to Tambra, and they told Tambra that Marie told Tambra that she was sorry that that she left and she should have stayed because they could have had a talk. She said, "No way, she was gonna stay and talk to that Taisha woman. That Taisha woman is thirsty, and her and Demar are good. They don't need us. She don't need no more drama." And she was saying, "Well, I'm sorry because I didn't know that the situation was still going on." She said, "When Greedy told us at the runway party that he never had an affair with Taisha, I thought everything was over with. So I invited her because she's my favorite decorator. She's been my decorator for years." And then so Latrice said, "Yeah, I thought everything was over too until you left, And then Letitia said, "Well, Tamara, I told Marie that if I would have known ahead of time, I would have warned. I would have gave her forewarning." She said, "That's all right. That's all right, ladies. It's already handled now." And next thing you know, Aikishia came over there and so Gucci, and they was asking what was going on. And the truth said, we were just getting things straight with we were just getting straight with Tamara. We were just telling her that we didn't know that her and Taisha had a problem. So everything is settled. So all the ladies got to talking and the thing, and then Marie said in her confession, "I'm sorry, but from the way Tamara talking and something strange is going on with that relationship with her and Damon, the way she talking, the way Tamara talking, I kind of got to get that aside." And next thing you know, they switch to the next scene, and the next scene is with Marie saying that she going to look for her mama, and she asked Lakeisha to come, and then Lakeisha drove up in her car, and then Lakeisha got in the van with Essie and got in the van with Essie and Marie, and Essie and Letitia was driving around. But Letitia said in her confessional that she always had a loving, caring mother and caring parents. She ain't never been through nothing like what Marie's going through. So she wanted to go and she wanted to go and help her friend. So she went to one what you call it, trap house. Went to one trap house. They said they hadn't seen her. She went to the second trap house. They said she seen her. And then she went to the third trap house. That person talking about she probably at the yellow house. So she finally got to the yellow house and the mama came out. And she had first thing her mama asked her, she said, "How you doing, mama? You been gone for 2 weeks." She said, "I've been over here at this yellow house." I said, "What you doing at this yellow house?" "I don't want you to come in. I don't want you to come in." So the wife came outside. She said, "Well, mama, is you gonna come with me? Latrice, I need for you to give me $30. And then when you give me $30, I'll come back out and I'll go with you." She said, "Mama, I ain't got no money. I give you." So yeah, just gonna give me $30. So she said, "You sure you gonna come back?" She said, "Yeah, I'm gonna come back." And Marie said they waited, and she said production told them that they had to go ahead and leave because it was dangerous. And then when they was driving, when they was driving and they parked for a little while, Marie got to screaming. And she got to screaming to the top of her lungs, and then she said, "I can't take this no more. I can't take this no more. All the stuff that I've been going through." And then Lakeisha said, "Well, I hate to see you going through that." And the Esther said, I hate to see you going through that too." She said, "I knew my mama wasn't going to come out the house. As soon as I gave her that stuff, I knew she wasn't coming out the house," and stuff like that. And so the next thing you know, it was the next scene. They switched to the next scene, and the next scene was Latrice and Latrice was bringing Cliff back from the hospital, and she was taking him home, and she was saying that it's a lot of people have been calling me because you had an accident, and Cliff said he accidentally cut his hand. She said you almost cut your hand out. She said other people was calling me and DMing me. She said you know, even though we were separated at the time, you know, I don't want nothing to happen to you, Dad. And she be calling Cliff there sometime, and she said Cliff, I just no Zitty. I don't want nothing to happen to you, Zitty. But you know, even though we separated at the time, Zitty, you know that I care about you, and I'm gonna come check on you. So he took her at the house, and she was saying. And she was saying that, yeah, you need to go take your medicine. And he was saying that's why he was saying that's why we be having conflicts and stuff, because you be talking about I don't listen to you and I don't do this, and you talking about you don't want to have a baby right now, but you won't even talk it over with me. He said when you're not talking over me, when you don't want to talk it over with me, well then that gets me upset. She said, but the way you was yelling and stuff like that, I just couldn't take it. So that's why I had to leave for a couple of weeks. But I thought you was gonna be better than this. And he said, she said, but you can't keep on yelling at me. He said, but Sharice, he said, Latrice, sometimes you just talk too much. And she said, well, you keep yelling at me, and while you keep yelling at me, that reminds me of my dad used to be yelling at me when I was a little bitty girl. And Cliff said, that's the problem. I'm not your dad. You keep thinking I'm the. And she said, well, I know you ain't my dad. And then they got to argue back and forth. She said, well, I got a pregnancy test now. I haven't took one in a while, so I'm going to take one and I'm going to see. So she closed the door. She took the pregnancy test. She came back. She looked at it. She said, how do you feel, Cliff? Cliff said, well, I'm kind of disappointed. How do you feel? Latrice said, well, I'm kind of happy about it because I really didn't want a baby right now because I'm trying to get Goddess links off the. I mean, I'm trying to build. I'm trying to build on Goddess links and stuff. But we probably could be working on having a kid. And he said, yeah, maybe okay. So it switched to the next scene, and the next scene was Marie talking to her brother, and she was telling her brother that she couldn't take that no more with her mama. She told her brother she went searching for her mama. Her mama was missing for 2 or 3 days. I mean, 2 or 3 weeks. She found her mama. Her mama didn't really want to come back. And her brother said, he said, her brother said, well, Marie, well, we've been going through this ever since we've been adults and ever since we were kids and stuff. He said, sometimes you just have to let it go and move on. She said, but it's hard. He said, but you're going to have to let it go and move on. She said, well, yeah, I guess I am going to have to let it go and move on from mama because I can't take this no more. And then it switched to the next scene where it was Lateshia and Glenn going to counseling. But Lateshia said she was glad that the counselor came to her enterprises because she didn't want to go to the office. And Glenn was saying when Lakeisha don't come to the office, well then he just be in therapy by himself. And so Lakeisha said that she didn't need to be in therapy with him, but then the counselor said both of them needed to talk about what they was doing, and so the counselor asked Lateshia about her feelings toward Glenn and stuff like that. And she was saying she was saying he cheated on me and stuff. And he told him, he said, I've been trying to do everything to make up for her, send her flowers and this, that, and all to make up for her. She said, but I don't know. He said, and then the counselor asked Lakeisha, he said, do you love Glenn? She said, yeah, I love Glenn. He said, but I'm going to ask you another question. Are you in love with Glenn? She said, and then she paused and then went to commercial and came back saying, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if I could be able to trust Glenn and love Glenn again. And then the counselor said, Glenn, you hear what I say? You hear what she's saying? Do you hear her feelings? Do you accept it? He said, yeah, I accept it, but I only made one mistake. And that only made one mistake, and that was it. And then the counselor said, you made one mistake, but yeah, you had a child with an outside woman when you made that mistake. And then Glenn looked kind of funny. And he said, well, I'm working on it. He said, well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to speak this into existence. I hope both y'all get back together, and I hope y'all work everything out, and then y'all stay in counseling. Then it switched to the last scene. and the last scene was just all the girls saying about what they're gonna do in the future. It started off with So Gucci. She was talking about she gonna be the best real estate agent in Mississippi, and I think she's gonna be working for what was it, Keller Williams or something, cause she got a real I think real estate license. And then after So Gucci, it was Latrice. Latrice was saying that she was glad that she was moving from that area, and then her assistant said they was glad they didn't got to worry about no leaky pipes and stuff. They moved to a much better facility, and she said her main goal is working on building up goddess links and having more wig shops. And then it went to Aikishia. Aikishia saying that she liked what she has done for Farris Street, and she liked where things are going with the Farris Street Project and stuff. And then it switched to Lateshia. Lateshia said her businesses was doing good, and then she said at the last minute, her and Glenn she moved back into the house that her and Glenn had together with their son. And then after that the show ended. This is A. Wesley. That ain't who tells it like a T.I. is. I am out.